welcome. This is the Market Trap on Bloomberg Quint Live. Let's take a look at how the markets have fared today and through the course of the week. Let's start by today. And we had to see about a 0.5% cut for the Nifty, and GAIL India, Bajaj Finance and Axis Bank among, well, the only stocks on the Nifty 50 advancing by over 1%, which means there was a lot of pressure on the losers, which includes Yes Bank, Indiabulls Housing Finance, Bharti Infratel and IndusInd Bank. Let's move on and talk about your broader markets, and the picture may not be very different from what we are seeing in the benchmarks. We do have all sorts of recoveries coming in for Rupan Company, which has been under pressure of late. Well, Thomas Cook is up and about, Bharat Dynamics, CID Parry, and on the losing end, well, some of the usual suspects there, Cox and Kings, Deepak Fertilizers and Divan Housing Finance right at the top of the losers list. But moving on to how some of these companies have done in the week. On the Nifty 50, we have some advances for UPL, pardon me, NTPC and Axis Bank. Well, about a gain of 4 to 5%, so it isn't too much. And Tech Mahindra, Bharti Infratel and Eicher Motors losing out, and that's evident as to why we are looking at consolidation on the benchmarks through the course of this week as well. What about the broader market? So where are we seeing a lot of traction? Dilip Bilkon making a substantial amount of recovery, in fact up 23% in the week. Allahabad Bank and Shriram City Union Finance also doing well in trade, but Cox and Kings, of course, has lost out 39%, and this is over a default of 150 crore rupees. Reliance Power, of course, is under pressure. We spoke about Deepak Fertilizers, but don't forget PC Jeweler, of course, which has moved out of the F&O segment, also remains under some bit of weakness. But this is as far as your markets are concerned. Let's take a look at all the events that have actually moved the markets. So first up, on Monday, June 24th, we did have RBI Deputy Viral Acharya resign 6 months before his term was to end, citing personal reasons. And on Tuesday, June 25th, we also had Z extend a 175 crore loan to his promoters, perhaps problematic, and Reliance Industries also managed to raise $1.85 billion in loans, and that, of course, was a positive which will be directed mostly to Reliance Jio. Next, on Wednesday, the June 26th, we had ICRA downgrade Piramal Capital, Housing Finance and Edelweiss. So again, a lot of concerns there. On Thursday, June 27th, SEBI came out with a list of tighter norms for mutual funds, saying that liquid mutual funds must hold at least 20% assets in liquid form. And again, this is rather challenging. In RBI's financial stability report, the central bank said that there has been better market discipline post the NBFC crisis. And of course, let's not forget Aditya Birla Sun Life AMC announced that it is looking to liquidate its realty fund. Again, some challenges there. And finally, of course, Cox and Kings defaulted on the 150 crore worth of commercial paper. So that is the reason why we have seen weakness in Cox and Kings, and Axis Bank announced that it is considering raising about $1.3 billion in funds. So a lot of things have happened through the course of the week, and because of that, we've also seen a lot of changes as far as your pricing in some of those stocks that I've spoken about go. But that said, let's take a look at what we can expect in coming week, and at least as far as the levels go, based on your open interest. And this, of course, is the July open interest, considering we are into a new expiry. On the higher end, it is the 12,000 call, which has max OI, and on the lower end is the 11,500 put, which has max OI. So it's a 500-point range, not unlike what we've seen in the June series for the majority of it. And well, it does seem that at this point we're likely to see the Nifty move around within this range in the near term. Besides just these levels, what are the other events that we can keep an eye on? Well, let's pull all those events that we can watch out for through the course of the week. Of course, on the weekend, we will have the big meeting between Xi Jinping and Donald Trump. And, well, depending on how that meeting goes, we are likely to see some sort of reaction on Monday, at least as far as our global markets go, which will very well have an implication for Indian markets too. But as as far as domestic cues are concerned, let's take a look at what we are watching out for. Of course, the manufacturing PMI on Monday for the month of for the month gone by. And so we also have the OPEC meeting in Vienna, which will of course have implications when it comes to crude price movements. And moving on, we also have continue on Tuesday. So we'll be watching out for that. Considering the OPEC Plus will also join in. We also have the India Services PMI on Wednesday. Again, an important economic factor to keep an eye on, as is the case for composite PMI again on Wednesday. So two factors there as far as the macro is concerned. But Thursday is going to be a very important day, considering we are going to see a presentation of India's economic survey, and that of course, as usual, as always, is a precursor to the union budget. So we will have 17th Lok Sabha's union budget presentation on Friday, where Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will present the union budget, and of course that day is expected to be exciting as always and usual. So we'll be watching out for some of these very, very big and important events as we move in to a trade next week. Lots to keep an eye on. On that note, it's a wrap on the markets, but there is lots more lined up, so stay tuned to Bloomberg Quint and we keep bringing you more.